Warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions,
Okay, we got a full panel here for an interesting. I think this is a completely necessary response. Is it completely necessary? Maybe it's not, but it needs
completely necessary.
No, it's not, but it's more necessary than the unnecessary. Listen, I'll be honest here. I am still a subscriber of Pat and Ian. I still like them, and I wanted to go into this saying I defend them, but I can't. I just can't. I can't. No, I still like them. I still watch their content.
Fair comment.
But yeah. I just can't, if they're like, if everything you say out of your mouth is one thing and you have the opportunity to actually, you know, get your questions answered, no matter what they say, you don't have to adjust your timeline for the Amico and the Intellivision.
No, I'm not rushing. I didn't have a big marketing meeting today.
Right. Especially if you have plans to. There are others involved with your company. You got to do it when, as much as you want to talk on here. You have. This is why the big three don't only do certain things at their announcements. They have to get everyone involved. What's the right time? Yeah,
it's distribution, it's distributors, it's manufacturing, it's retail. The retailers have a big say in all this stuff. Obviously, right? It's a lifeline to their whole system, you know.
And I don't see why, if you were, I just can't get the scammer angle. Like, why would you spend this much time on YouTube putting your face out there if you were going to scam someone? And why do you assume positive intent for everything until someone gives you a reason not to?
And Max, I'd add, not only put your name through the mud, but add about 20 other industry professionals to drag their name through the mud as well. Yep. It makes no sense.
That could burn your career if you do something like that, if it's that bad. As bad as the accusations are. Well, I think we might just get straight into the video.
Okay.
Pat and Ian, hi. Ian says, does he want to talk to the madman? The madman. No, I don't really want to. I think you will eventually. I'm going to keep trying, Ian and Pat. I think
give you credit.
I think Tommy is finally sweating now that he's seen Pat in his muscle shirt.
That was an epic clothing choice. That was an epic. Yeah. Well, you know, what's funny is he was going back and forth with me on the comments, and he called me a boomer. He goes, "Oh, you made fun of my shirt. Okay, boomer." You know, like that's so original. But then I had to quickly remind him that that actually I'm Generation X, and
he's Gen X too.
Yeah, and boomer. I've seen more boomers in cutoff T-shirts than Gen Xers. That's all I'll say. So if anyone's booming, it's him in that epic cutoff.
He's booming out of it. I was shaking. So you got him, Pat. You got him so shaken with your muscle shirt that he's got to do this reaction. All right, let's get this started. I wasn't expecting a response this quick from the completely unnecessary
one.
Well,
they obviously they're big fans of following us, you know.
Yeah. All right.
Trademarks and old.
Oh wait.
Speaking of old trademarks and old licenses and old video game consoles, that
there he is. Look at those.
Person
nice guns.
Is that a
he looks all right.
I don't know.
I was talking about Ian.
Okay. Well, speaking of old,
that's a big Mike, Ian. He looks like
what's going on there? Is that like the Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket? What is that on?
Here. Listen, as much as we razz on you, Ian and Pat, I still want to talk to you. I'm still a somewhat of a fan. I know blood on this panel or not, they annoy the hell out of you. You still would want, if you actually talk to them, Tommy. I think you try to be civil.
Oh, absolutely, I would. Well, you know, in all of my jabs back at Mr. Contri, you know, I always say, and I'm being sincere, because I'd say a lot of things. I give him crap, and I'm like, look, I hope you can take it as much as you dish it out, and willing to let bygones be bygones and put it all under the bridge. So now I'm just having giving him a little bit of his own medicine. Hey, this is one thing that's pretty funny though that I want to point out. You see up on the third shelf there. Let's see if this gets removed from all future videos.
Up on the if you say it's gonna be gone.
Yeah. Did you see that little cool spot character from 7 Up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that I did all the music to that. That was the game we did right before Aladdin and Earthworm Jim. So we'll see if I'm represented in every single one of their videos.
Would you sign it for him?
I would sign it for him and everything. I mean, it goes great with the Cabbage Patch Kid over his left shoulder.
All right.
It's a Strictly Soda reference.
They mentioned me in this video. That's why I'm excited. I loved it when
they didn't want to give you any credit because they didn't want to get people to go watch your channel. So they kind of they shadow dogged you.
I'll take it. I like Ian's response. The madman. Do I want to talk to the madman? No, I don't want to talk. Oh, he doesn't yet. Maybe eventually. All right, let's see.
Stack button for update. So Tommy responded to us talking about the quizzical job listings of them needing firmware.
How dare you hire people
and people to help.
What is Ian doing with the microphone right now? Is he brushing his teeth? What is he doing?
You know what? Ian is so amped up and ready to pounce. That dude is so unstable. You know what? I pick on Pat and Ian. My whole gig is against Ian, to be honest with you. Pat's is smug, and that's okay. I can dig that personality. But there's just something about Ian that's just so unstable that when I see his eyes, my blood boils.
I'll tell you what it is.
No, that's Massachusetts right there.
Does this before he gets all.
He's been working it. He does YouTube, and he also does. He works at a used game store and deals with the public. I get it. If you deal with the public, it can get you.
Last I checked, he also has a GoFundMe for people to support him during the pandemic because he's not going to the game store anymore, even though he's getting unemployment right now.
That's pretty crazy considering that they make fun of us taking money from the German government.
I guess that's fair for you to criticize. I mean, I've seen GoFundMes for less. This is the internet. I've seen
GoFundMes from less too, but I mean, you're supposed to be a reputable source here, and that's how you're treating the community.
Well, I also like Chris from Review Tech USA, and to say when they attacked them last time, where they said they were making fun of the way he interviewed. How many interviews have you done? It's your right to criticize everyone, but what have you done? That's what I always go to. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe he has. I have to find if he's done interviews before. I don't know of any interviews he's done.
Splash pages and set up the servers and things like that.
It's all we were wrong. It's all for
so you can pause it there. So the declaration that he made there is that we don't have all these back end systems set up and all this stuff and blah 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 blah. And it's just complete nonsense, completely untrue. And what's funny is you see the way they laugh, see the smiles on their face, like you said. Creep, it's the smugness, they think they know so much, and when they know little at all, and they won't even talk to us. So yeah, a lot of those job postings were to work underneath people who are running those divisions. I can tell you, we have 5 people right now working and who have been working for a while on all of the back end, the store, the backup, the leaderboards, all that stuff. But again, they want to kind of make it seem like we've never done anything at all. And now I also want to state too is that so Smash JT, he was critical of he was critical of the system when he first heard about it.
Oh, he very much was.
By the way, which is fine, fair. He didn't know a lot of information about it, and the information he knew sounded a little strange totally understand. And by the way, I totally also always tell people how you don't have to. I don't expect every person to love the system, but if I'm trying to correct some maybe information out there that's not correct, well, then it should be my right to at least try to get the thing out there. So a lot of people are like, he's trying to convince anyone to love the system. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to.
Well, to give your critics, they always say I'm not hard on you enough. All right, I'll give you full screen for this question.
Hit it.
Okay. Does everyone that sees this behind the scene have to sign an NDA?
No, completely. Well, let me ask the question back. Smash JT, did I make you sign an NDA back? And maybe I did, so I don't know, but tell the truth. Back in September, did I make you sign an NDA?
Before we even went live, before you came on the call, we were talking about this and laughing about it because I saw Pat make a comment saying, "Oh, this explains why he makes everyone sign the NDAs so they don't talk about this. He silences people." I'm like, I didn't sign it.
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you what that is. So there you go. And by the way, again, to be 100% clear, I never met Smash before that day. Never met him in person.
It was even more proof because I was trashing the system before I met you. So
yes, he's
tell people where I stood on it.
Right, so he's trashing the system. He shows up at my front door. I invite him to my house. We go to Intellivision.
I wouldn't do that.
we go to Intellivision, and I don't get him to sign an NDA. A person I don't know who all I knew was going to trash the system and could look for anything.
I will say, when I got back home that day, Tommy, I was talking to my wife, and she's like, "How'd it go?" I'm like, I mean, I felt like I knew the guy for years, and he trusted me so much, and I've never even talked to him before. It was like weird how much he just was so open and kind and trustworthy. It was not. You don't get that anymore these days. It was weird.
Now
in a very good way.
And Max, to give more information about that as well. If these guys knew anything about the video game industry, and clearly they don't, right? They want to assume like they do, but they don't. They actually don't.
Guidebook.
But if you knew anything about video game development, you would know that every single game studio that you walk in, whether it's Activision or Blizzard or Ubisoft or any kind of mid-level developer, maybe not indie developers, but like bigger company, every single one of them you walk into, you have to sign an NDA. Now, what they're referring to and what they've now misinformed people about, and the haters pick up and want to run with it,
as is their way,
is that last year at E3, so last June, a year and a month ago, we had a behind the closed door meeting where we were showing the working system for the first time. And we had a whole bunch of games on the wall, screenshots of games that were coming. Because what a lot of people don't know is that E3 isn't just a place where you show off your games to the press. That's really not what it's about. E3 is really about all of the buyers and sellers getting together. And that's where they put in their Christmas orders for E3. That's why it exists. That's why the ESA, Entertainment Software Association, created E3 in the first place. Now, the bonus is that the press is there and this and that, but make no mistake, the E3 and the ESA is all about buyers and sellers. So we met with every single major retailer in the world. So when those people come in, you want to put all the games on the wall. You want to put, again, you want it to make it as beautiful and as impactful as possible. So John Riggs, Metal Jesus, and Kelsey, they reached out to me and they said, "Oh my God, we're going to E3, and we heard that Intellivision is going to be there." And I've met John in the past, super great guy, and love John Riggs. And and I said, and he said, is there any way we could go in and see the system for the first time? And I said, look, I think it's fantastic. I do. And so we set up a time, but I said, look, because no one has ever seen the console, no one's ever seen the games, blah, 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 this and that. Our PR and marketing folks are going to, have to make you sign an NDA to go in there, because we haven't shown anything at all yet. Oh, totally cool. Again, very, very common.
Very standard.
And so,
industry standard.
So very standard. So in regards to YouTubers, the only YouTubers on the planet who have ever signed an NDA were those three, because they had seen it at E3 a year and a month ago before anything had been shown to anyone. So there you go. Maybe we can put that one to rest.
Okay, so another hard question.
I don't even know what the bad thing about an NDA is. Like, how is that being twisted into a bad thing? I'm so confused.
So
every piece of information is twisted to a bad thing. It's
the narrative behind something like that, where people are critical of NDAs, is if I see it and I sign it, I'm not going to be able to say what I want about it. So this is my next.
But that's not true.
That's not what an NDA is.
No. I know that.
You can't disclose information that's not publicly available. You can still say what you want about it.
Right. I mean, I'm just explaining you the perception, or the being devil's advocate. So
again, but there's more misinformation there. So two comments from these guys, and both were completely wrong, and mostly because they don't understand how the video game industry actually works. They can talk about it, but they don't know about it.
Here's another question then. If Pat says, okay, fine, bring it to my house, are you going to make him sign an NDA, or can he say whatever the hell he wants after?
No, he can say whatever he wants.
Okay, but please,
again, just like Smash JT, he could have said whatever he wanted.
Social distance from those guns, though, please. If you get in that room, be safe. Be safe.
Max, you missed my video today, but like I said in my video, like I in the back of my mind, I'm sorry to say this, Tommy, but I was driving up there because I had such a negative outlook on this thing that I was like, I'm gonna try to find anything I can about this, just
as
to
YouTubers
rail
do.
on it. Because I know that I'm gonna be able to get so many views out of a video if
10 more episodes.
If I expose a problem with this or anything
you're gonna get the scoop.
Exactly, and I'm like, I didn't do that, and I was able to if I wanted to, and that's why I don't get people who think I'm like shilling for it. I'm like, no, I couldn't find anything wrong with it.
I had my reporter hat with the feather. I was ready.
All right, so they're going to get to talk about me soon, so we got to get going. We got to react to them.
Wait. Before you press play, hold on.
All right.
They aren't taking this seriously. They are not accountable for what they say. They are treating this like a joke, and they don't understand the gravity of their words and their audience that they're reaching. And that is supremely frustrating to me, and I'm running out of breath. There we go.
No,
you're not alone, Smash.
Listen, I am not against Pat and Ian. I want them to succeed. I enjoy watching Completely Necessary, actually for like entertainment value. I think they're kind of funny. This hate is unnecessary. Actually, Tommy, I'm going to tell you something here.
Yeah.
You're lucky to have haters like this. It's only going to help you.
Yeah. Well, wait, I didn't even I don't know if I told you this, but what was funny is not this video, but the one they did before it, where they were like reading off the job postings that we have. God is my witness, and I'll show you guys the emails, off air or whatever. A really amazing senior firmware guy contacted outreach to us, and he's been like being interviewed. He said, "Hey, I was watching the CU podcast." And I totally understand what you guys need. Like in regards to I don't know. Like he goes, I unsubscribed from their channel because I knew what, I read the thing and I know exactly. Like I know that you're not behind or blah 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 this and that. Like I get it.
Are you saying Pat might have got someone hired at a television?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean the guy's not hired yet.
Oh, okay.
But we've been interviewing.
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something? He's had I haven't even met him yet, but he's had 2 interviews with our staff because it kind of goes up and up. You got to pass certain levels.
How can you be so much of a hater of something and not realize someone getting a job in the video game industry is great? I don't get it. Like, hey, if it actually
fall off,
I don't want the Amico to fail, but if the Amico fails, it doesn't do as good as expected. But how can you do this? How can you fail and stuff? I don't get it.
Let me just say too, because Pat has, to my knowledge, I could be wrong. I'd hate to insinuate something wrong, but to my knowledge, he's never officially worked in the video game industry like I have.
You too.
Like I worked for Sony for over 2 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it was before the PlayStation 3 came out. I had the PlayStation 3 on my desk before it came out. It was back then. It was like MySpace or whatever. They're like, if you take a picture of this and post it on MySpace, you're fired instantly. And I'm like, oh, that is some serious gravity to this. Like, holy F-U-C-K, I can't do anything wrong. I have the brand new console on my desk and nobody's even seen it yet. That is wild. And all through that time, they were still hiring developers and system. I'm like, and then when I heard this from Pat, I'm like, do you not even know how a launch of a system works?
No, zero knowledge.
They don't.
I mean, hiring before maybe letting go would be a more alarming sign.
Now,
Now,
Creepster, I saw that you got in a little scuff with on Twitter with Pat. Was that today or something?
That was last night. That was my first ever interaction with Pat. I made a post about talking smack about someone who didn't deserve it, basically.
Oh, you were talking about Max. You were defending Max.
Yeah, and what I told him was if guys like me, and he even said it, guys like even on your channel make fun of me and Ian, you call us little girls and put us in dresses. And I said, you're 100% right. And if you were talking smack about someone like me, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, again, they can dish it, but they can't take it. I don't know.
Retro, have you had any interactions?
I've met Pat twice in person at conventions, and he's been he's been cordial.
Okay. So you're
online interactions. I've followed Pat and Ian for years. Their takes they can be entertaining, but they can also be all over the place, and they can also be a little loose with the facts and a little light on the research. And something like this, they've dug their heels in, and it's irritating to no end to hear.
I honestly, this is sincere, Pat and Ian. I honestly just want you to do it. I as a viewer, as an entertainment person, what is the downside? You do a pre-recorded, like we're doing this.
The downside is being made a fool of. That's what the downside is.
Well, I mean, you just say it, and even if you still have your bias afterward, at least all right. We talked to Tommy. Shut up. We talked to Tommy.
To Tommy's point, though, they can dish it. They can't take it. Like they dish it all the time. I give them a little bit of kickback, and I get blocked on Twitter from Pat. Like a little bit of kickback, and he blocks me. So I'm like, okay. You can't handle somebody with a conflicting point of view. I'm not being an asshole to you. I'm like straight up just saying you're wrong. And this is why you're wrong. Here are the facts. And he blocks me.
Well, I mean, you could say the game's being developed. Listen, I like the way the games look, but they're not like pushing anything. I'll be honest, they're not pushing graphics yet. No, I don't.
You're not intended to.
You could say something like that, but to go this route of it doesn't exist is really frustrating to me. Why would you be putting your face everywhere, hiring people? It may be delayed. We discussed that.
I've been saying. See, here's the funny thing is that
the world has changed in 2020.
That's the thing. Like I've been saying, as you all know here, all of you here know, I've been saying since March that hey, this thing, COVID thing, could affect the 10/10 launch. In March, we were talking about it because we could see that we were.
Tommy, can I correct you? Because it was January when you were talking on the Atari.
Was it January?
January before before the Founder Edition came out, because you were talking about you don't know for Chinese New Year the factory lines were going to be down. You didn't know if they were going to be coming back on after an extra month. We didn't know what was going on with China at the time.
That's right. Well, I stand corrected.
I forgot about that.
Tommy, here's where you when these consoles come out that you're not sure of, of the release date. And with this is where you should get concerned when there is a delay and there's no new info.
Right.
Even if it gets delayed, you have things prepared. So
zero transparency.
Right. So you're going to have announcements and everything else. It's not like, oh, and I haven't been covering the Atari VCS. I don't want to throw heat at them either. But I'm saying it gets to the big delay and there's no new info. And they're not hiring. I'm sorry. That's warning signs.
Well, actually, the opposite too, right? They're being sued.
Or people are being let go,
and they didn't show up in court, so they automatically lose.
Right. So that's
probably
where
save the money by not showing up.
I think if you're a critic, you have to be fair and assume positive intent of someone, especially if they have a career in it. They're basically insulting your career. That you would pull off a scam. I mean, you can criticize the actual console, the quality and stuff, which I think is going to be fun. But if they do this, it's insulting someone's whole career. That's what
I mean, that's why they're doing it. I don't know.
I don't like that part. Pat and Ian, go ahead.
It's fine to insult someone's career if they do the research behind it and back up with facts why they feel the way they do about something. But what we are witnessing, which I'm sure we'll get back to shortly, is them just quoting a bunch of nonsense without doing any research and not going to see a system that they are calling into question when the offer is on the table for them, which blows my mind.
Well, he said no NDA if he brings it to them. I wouldn't still go go there myself. I don't know if I would, but Tommy said he's willing to. Wait, where did the video go? Oh, here's the video. All right. Let's get back to them because they're about
that was the first
to mention the madman.
You might be here till like 5 a.m.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
I'll be working on for 2021 and 2022.
Oh, it's so funny.
Tommy Tallarico. Questions answered. Yeah, because when I'm struggling to get a game console, what I want to do, Ian, is worried about my accessory. I'm going to be coming out in the market in 2 years.
Why wouldn't you?
Stop there. Retro advisory. Maybe let's retro talk.
All right.
So this is all built on their narrative that you are struggling, you are nowhere near getting this thing ready to launch. They won't go and see any games, any gameplay, anything. They're fabricating this narrative, and go ahead.
Why wouldn't you? We don't know for sure. I'll be honest, we don't know for sure exactly the physical games. We have ideas. We don't know how accessories are going to play into it. If it is a game system market at families, children, edutainment, you don't know how much accessories could help. You just don't know. Why wouldn't you develop?
How long do these guys think it takes to create like a pro controller or some kind of device? Maybe like.
They might not know that the accessories might be a big part of the system that you aren't talking about yet. Like all the conjecture they're coming up with, and I'm not saying I know anything. I'm just saying they're just assuming that what you're focusing on has nothing to do with what's coming out.
Well, I mean, this is developing. You could create stuff if worst case scenario, and I do not want this for you, that it does not sell like you want. These accessories could even possibly not come out, but you want options in case it gets hot.
You always have to. You always have to think 2-3 years ahead.
Your business plan is not written through the month of August, and that's all you've got. You've got 2 years written into this thing.
So it's not.
So you obviously
have 5 years.
Yeah, you have a 5-year plan. I've hired over 100 people. I've written job descriptions for people who are going to go into a position that won't be meeting some of those skills and some of those targets that I've written into the position, but you want them to fit into that team. So you're putting things in that they might touch or might be affected. And you're looking at where they're going to go in the future. So when they're talking about a job description that they read and going off just point by point, a lot of that is not necessarily you writing what you need now. It's you writing what would be a good fit for that person in that team and working with, that particular set of development skills they might be working on next year, 2021, 2022, etc.
All right. Let's see what else. let's because we only got a minute in, guys. There's so much. We have
So
to
much
pause them
material.
every few seconds.
So many lies.
I want to do when I'm way behind and I've already taken $1.5 million of people's money. And
Was he-
Can't
was-
stop
wait, was
there.
he-
So,
No, I was
every
gonna say,
line.
I'm trying to remember if he had a delay with his NES guide.
So-
I don't know.
So he said we've taken in $1 million. Actually, we've taken in a lot more than that. So why $1.5 million? I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, if you go on the Fig site right now, it says $5 million.
Which you could
just
still cancel.
just on that.
You could still cancel. I don't want people to cancel. I'm just reminding them that it's not you don't give that option if you want to take the money and run.
Well, again, but the idea being is that the $5 million isn't just pre-orders, and again,
I'll be honest here.
It's
I don't
investment
really
as
know.
well.
I don't really know much about the Ko-Fig. I don't really personally consider it as a crowdfunding thing. But even if it was that you could cancel your order, that's nowhere near the risk of Kickstarters and Indiegogos,
Right.
where you get zero updates.
Yeah.
You are saying for sure, even if it's delayed, that there will be updates on things before the 10/10 release date. You're not gonna delay it and then have no news at all. I don't foresee that happening.
But anyway, I just thought it was funny that he says you've raised $1 million. No, it's actually a lot more. But okay, go ahead.
All right,
Hey,
let's
can you
get.
give me the big screen? Give me the big screen real quick.
Okay.
I got to show you guys. This is where's my hand? Okay, this is where they got that number. There. Okay, there it is.
All right. Okay, let's see what else.
See if they can do two lines.
$1 million from again the German government, which no one
here's
is
the German.
talking about.
Okay,
the
so
German
stop it there. So he said we got $500,000 from the German government. That's false.
How dare you?
No, but it's false. It's actually a lot more than that. It was about 750,000. So, so that was false, right? People, developers get, they get funding. The Canadian government does it a lot. Certain states in the United States do a lot.
Everybody does it. Go
yes,
ahead.
What they're trying to do is certain countries or certain states will give tax dollar incentives for people to come and build their businesses within that state or within that country. So and they give tax benefits and money benefits and all this kind of things. So our company is based, our European division is based in Nuremberg, Germany. So they give you tax incentives. Sometimes they give you like rent free. Sometimes they give you whatever, a bunch of stuff. But the other thing they do is that they give money and the reason they want you to come there is because now we're hiring a bunch of people. We've started hiring, people over in Europe as well. We just hired a brand new guy, Eduardo, who's from Peru, but he lives in Germany. We just hired him last week. So he's now started full time. And so we're driving the economy. We're attracting people to Nuremberg, Germany now. And what are they going to do? They're going to buy houses. They're going to go to the local laundromat. They're going to buy food. They're going to be supporting all the local businesses with the money that they're earning. It's all put back in the economy. But the other thing about that money is that it also helps independent studios to survive. And so what we've done is that we've gotten together, and it's not like we fill out a form and they give us $1 million. No, you work with independent studios in the area from Germany who may be struggling or maybe not. And you work with them, and here we come along and say, hey, let's work together. We'll publish your dream or your title or our dream or whatever. Work together. The government is going to help you, not us, help you survive. The money we don't make the money on the German government. All they're doing is they're passing it through us to give straight to the developers. So again, if you want to make fun of the German government supporting local indie developers, be my guest. You're going to look like the
Well,
Yeah.
let's be real. What successful entertainment companies don't do this type of thing all over the world? For they make these kind of arrangements to. Okay.
Go ahead,
not,
Retro.
not only that, but I mean, Pat needs to learn 4 words: economic development. It's a concept. There's about $20 billion a year that goes into economic development. That's through government taxes. That's through private venture capital funding. That's through philanthropic donations. You look at something like the Texas Tech Corridor, Austin, and Intel, and all of those companies that are booming there. They're not booming in Austin just because it's a cool place to live. They're booming in Austin because Texas put forward that money back in the 60s and 70s to bring the tech sector there so that they can diversify their economy and it wouldn't just be oil. So Germany also puts that money in. Lots of states put money into their own film sector to bring the film industry out of California into their states.
Vancouver.
Canada's a big one for that.
Every industry has money that the state will invest into an industry if you bring jobs. And with those jobs, you're bringing employed people who can buy and put money back into your economy, like Tommy's saying. I mean, this is economics 101.
Well, you know what's something else really quick, guys, in to go along with this. We haven't officially announced it yet, but if you go on our website and look at the bottom, you'll see this. We just opened a whole other headquarters and office in Salt Lake City, Utah last week. And we hired our first 2 employees there, and we're hiring 4 more people over the next couple weeks.
That's great.
But we're in trouble.
No, but jobs in the industry is a good thing.
Like, I gotta find a way to twist that into a bad thing. Hold on.
Yeah. All right. Is Ian still there? I just see a microphone. All right.
I think it's a pretty fair point to bring up.
What does he do with that microphone?
4 of your packing games being developed.
Wait! Stop it there. He said so. He's saying you're using taxpayers' money to fund your games, and again, this is money that gets passed to the local government, gives it to local developers. So, but he wants to make it seem like I'm stealing money from the poor tax holders. It's like, no, because of us, local indie developers are getting money from the government because of we don't make money on that. We don't make a profit on it. And he also said, just as another aside, he said 4 of our 5 pack-in games are being developed by the German, over in Germany. Actually, we have 6 pack-in games, Pat. Sorry, wrong again. But go ahead.
And Tommy, you went through a process with the Bavarian state government and the German government. They awarded that money to you with a lot of other tech startups and companies that were competing for that money. So they looked at you and they liked what you were doing and gave you the money.
And they trusted us and they saw everything in our business models and the way we. Exactly. Thank you. That's a great point. I didn't. Yeah.
I'm just pay your dollars and how that's going to.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Jake.
I'm confused because he's has an issue with this deal that's worked out with the German government and Intellivision, but he's on social media sharing a GoFundMe for Ian to make money during COVID while he's on unemployment.
Yes, but the GoFundMe is not by the Germans.
I'm trying to figure out his logic here. I'm just trying to figure out his logic.
He's just trying to instigate. He's trying to drum up resentment for the fact that you're wasting taxpayer dollars. He's appealing to the base instincts of people. It's disgusting.
You because they attacked the integrity of Intellivision and Tommy of what they're planning. You have every right to do that, but I feel for anyone that's affected by the economy. I don't like a lot of GoFundMes either, but if he feels it's necessary, maybe that's the complete unnecessary podcast doesn't bring in the views unless it's about Amico that you need that. But I don't blame him for putting it up. More power to him. I don't care about that. No,
I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm saying it's interesting that he doesn't have a problem doing it for him, but then he has a problem with Tommy working with the German government to get jobs there. It's just,
Smash just sees the hypocrisy.
Well, this is my problem with a lot of YouTube is they defend they criticize everything, oh, but I got a Patreon. But then and there's nothing wrong with Patreon. You're taking $10 a month from the consumer too. What are you providing? So I'm telling you this, Pat and Ian, it's fair of them to bring that up.
101. It's reality. It's what life is. And you know what? In a weird way, before you press play,
okay.
I know Pat and Ian are going to be watching this, and I know, like, Pat especially, his ego, I know him well based off of the time I've spent watching him. He is eating this up. He's loving that we are taking our time out of our day to analyze his full of lies video. So congrats, Pat.
Well, hey, I'll do it anytime there's a video. I watch this channel anyway. All right.
For the records, it's after hours here at Intellivision, so I'm not wasting my Intellivision time on this.
I think I've heard accusations too, Tommy, that you're doing this so much that you're just a salesman and you're not that much involved in the rest.
So I'm not, but yet I design the console, design all the games, and do all the audio for them. But
right. I mean, I think I've heard that you're just a salesman. You're just
run the company and raise money and do marketing stuff and
I think I've heard snake oil salesman too.
That's it.
But you're not much involved with anything.
Tommy's got an awful lot of passion for someone who quote unquote isn't involved with it.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist too. That's why you have all this free time. That's what you listen. We've seen you a few days. You're like, whoo! You can tell you put in some long hour days.
Exhausted,
and then you still go on to do interviews. Okay,
absolutely.
All right. Let's see what else they have to say.
Okay,
oh, that's true.
Stop it. No, I'm just kidding.
So, this is what I'm going to say to Tommy.
Oh, he's going to talk to you directly. Here, okay.
Now that. Because you said, well, have we seen a working console? So, of course, he tried to pick the one little thing that gets you, Ian. Don't say there's no physical media, Ian. Don't you say that. So you said, we haven't seen a working console. So Tommy's argument was, well, we put out 2 videos at the end of March, which is when they started and were doing their first, pre-order campaign. I guess the Founders Edition, whatever was the wood grain
stop it there.
One was.
Okay.
So stop it there. So again, I don't want to do it all, but Retro Advisory Board, he just said that we started our pre-orders in March, which is when those videos come out. Could you give him some accuracy, please?
Yeah, but I believe that was January.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
All right, keep playing. All right, let's.
They put out their Sideswipers little car track video, single screen racing destruction derby game sort of thing, and they did a video for the new Missile Command.
I hope Ian's okay. Videos, he shakes a lot, man.
The people are playing on the couch.
Look at that microphone.
And you are like 9 feet away from the TV. There is something that looks like a white Amico console laid out on the table in front, but there's no way to know if that's actually playing.
Why do you?
There's no way.
This shows their bias to me. This shows their bias to me that you automatically assume that. Like, why would
that I'm faking.
No,
couldn't you put a computer behind? Couldn't you put a computer behind the TV? There's no way to know anything.
Well, that was my point, right? Is that I was going to say, if I was going to fake it, wouldn't you like hide all that stuff?
Right.
But go back to the picture. I'll go around. I'll tell you really quick what everything is. Go back to the. Okay, so the pitch. So you see where it says Windows laptop with what looks like waveforms. Yeah. So we were recording the audio because remember in that Missile Command video, because it's Missile Command that's playing. Remember when I went in the trailer, I went full screen and I said audio only in the trailer. So I was recording the audio, and that program is called Audacity. Anyone can look it up. Download it for free. That's what that program was. So that wasn't a laptop running the game. It was a laptop recording the audio. The laptop on the right is showing that we're capturing. It's a very popular game capturing software because we went live, we went full screen on the video. So we had a camera that we were filming everyone playing, which is what this shot came from. But we also went full screen video. So that laptop was capturing the video. Now, some people might say, well, wait a second. Why weren't you just capturing the audio also on that laptop? The reason for that is when we were recording, dinner
time here.
Yeah.
When we were
Those show
recording,
checks, you got to. The show checks aren't paying enough. What are you eating?
when we were recording, for some reason that laptop on the right was dropping frames in the audio, and it was like skipping. So we were recording the audio on but we said, you know what? Let's just record it on this other one so there's no skipping. Anyway, that's it.
Well,
And then
I mean, so the reason you keep bringing this up, though, Tommy, is they keep going to this thing. Why doesn't he just make a video? And you're like, well, there's ones that already exist. Why am I going to make a specific video for you when it already exists out? I mean, is that your viewpoint? Like, why am I going to do this? I have stuff planned. It already exists.
Well, again, they said, remember what he said, because now he's starting to move the goalposts a little bit, right?
Okay,
but they said on the previous video that we didn't have a working machine.
Mm-hmm.
And because he hasn't seen one, and he said on his last video, we haven't seen the controllers hooked up to the video. And yes, you have. And it's been like that since our first video we showed with the controllers hooked up to the system was showed in March. So now he's moving the goalpost to say, oh, well, those things in video might be faked. That was his answer.
Well, Tommy, if you suddenly go silent, it gets delayed, and we hear no updates to the end of this year. Then I'm going to personally go after him. Like, what the hell? I got my pre-orders in, and I get no even updates.
That's right.
But until then, I assume positive intent from.
And by the way, Max, you tell me, or Atari Creep actually would be a great one to answer this. You tell me, because we've never met in person. We've only, conversed over the phone or video or whatever. Mm-hmm. But have you, you've been following this project for a while. Have you ever seen so much transparency and somebody willing to talk almost every day to anyone, answer any questions, even if you love the console or you hate the console? Right. You tell me.
No, and in fact, I thought it to be bizarre at first.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Yes. I'm serious.
I'm like, he's going to talk to me again. Listen, Tommy, I haven't talked to as many people as I'd like in my YouTube career. But I've talked to you the most frequently. I'm like, really? You want to do it? Like you like today. You're like, look, you want to do something? We'll do something. I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, yeah, that's great. That I'm right on track. That's what we want, definitely. Make sure you still give us a little bit of time when the moms come on and the other social media.
Always. When it gets super big and there's tens of millions of units out there, you guys know I'll always come by.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But I don't need a t-shirt or anything, but still. What's that?
You get Pat reaching out to you at that point. Hey, Tommy, we got to talk, man. This is crazy. How many are you selling? I think
no. I guarantee you, and I love you, Pat and Ian. I still do. I think you're funny. They'll be complaining about talking to moms and
the complaints
there.
The complaints will evolve.
I could see that certain website about about the foot bath. I'm sorry, Tommy.
Hey, by the way, wait. Let's talk about this. Okay, so a couple of people have said, hey, it looks like a foot bath. Okay, who buys foot baths? Go ahead.
Lots of people. Maybe
a lot of
moms.
A lot of moms.
I mean, I have a
people who don't have nasty feet.
maybe you can get the Amico and Bed Bath and Beyond, Tommy.
I guess my point being is that if it looks like, if that's what they feel, if it looks like, and it does look like a foot bath, I'll be the first one. Right? But if it looks like something
you just ruined it. They're gonna clip that out.
Nah, that's okay. That's okay. It looks like it looks like a baby monitor. It looks like a Chinese.
But it comes in like 5 colors already. It comes in 5 colors.
It looks like
you do know the Atari Jaguar was based off of dental equipment that was reused shells that didn't sell from a dental equipment, right?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
No, actually, it was the opposite.
It's reversed. It's the opposite. A dental company purchased Overstock because they couldn't sell what they had designed.
Ah, okay.
Those started out that design?
Those started out as an Atari design, and they were bought by a medical supplier for
Oh,
a dental
incorrect.
X-ray machine. I don't think it's an X-ray.
Now we got some revealing moments. You bought some
Okay.
unused foot baths and created the Amicos. That's going to be on Amicos?
That's the new
what
news.
happened.
The breaking news.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what keeps.
I'm letting you know what's going to appear on the site, Tommy.
That's what's keeping the cost down from $389, like Atari.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank God for the foot bath.
Then so much talk about foot baths. I might get one. I don't know.
Two laptops in that video. There's one on the right side, which I think is doing video capture. There's one on the left side. There's a blue board in the picture. There's all this stuff going on.
Yeah, behind the
TV. There's like this
the
board.
casing.
Yeah, there's all this stuff going on.
I am actually concerned for Ian's well-being. He's very shaky. He's had health problems in the past. I hope he's doing okay.
Even if you give him the benefit of the doubt, which I don't think Tommy has earned at all.
What that?
Okay, stop there, Max.
He's responding to my video without it. I said assume benefit, positive intent, give him benefit of the doubt. Okay, you're Tommy. Go ahead.
But oh no, I wanted you to talk about it because
I mean that's where he's.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
Can I add one thing about this? Because they're making a big deal about how unprofessional this setup looked, or look at all this stuff that was rigged together. You did this in March. I think things were already closing down in California, so it's not like you can go and hire a professional studio to go and show this off. I mean, your timelines ran into COVID.
That's coming.
Obviously.
Dude. That's coming. Like
so they want to.
Yeah.
I'm really confused that they spent the better part of this, God, I'm starting to go off like my rant in my video today. They spent the better part of this snippet, this 10-minute portion, wondering if this thing even exists. When
COVID,
they can go see it. I am so confused by that.
I honestly have that's the hardest thing I have to do to keep some. I'll be honest with you, Pat and Ian, because I think at least your viewers will let you know this video exists. Come on, just do it. If you want to trash the hell out of it, trash the hell out of it after you see it. That might give you more ammo.
We're not going to.
I honestly, I just want to see the goddamn video already. This is how we have to go around. Also, unfortunately, Pat and Ian, even when you mention me in the video, you say they show me why is this people that make their living on social media so afraid to give a response on Twitter? Ian kind of mocks me in a funny way. I think it's funny. They're like, "Oh, the madman wants to talk to us. Am I ready to talk about it?" No. You could have just said that on Twitter. I mean, I don't know. They're afraid to have conversations. I don't get it. Please. I think your channel could grow better if you start talking to people. The video with Tommy, that's going to get probably the most views.
I would say that they'd probably get the most views.
It probably benefits them more than you, honestly. I think it would benefit them more than you.
Yeah, totally. 100%. That's it. They keep saying, "Oh, we don't want to give them the attention and on our channel." It's like, what are you talking about?
That shows talk about it every week.
I mean, it shows the flaw in your
yeah. They don't want to give the attention.
It shows the flaw in Pat and Ian that they don't think they're good enough to have an interview where you're going to control the narrative of the interview. If you're and you accuse Rich of I'm subscribed to Rich too. That you're first to attack someone else, do it yourself. I respect anyone's right to criticize anything, but if you're not willing to do it yourself, you instantly go lower on the totem pole.
You just hit on it. Like, they have the ability to ask these questions and get the answers to present it to their audience, and instead they're avoiding that and deciding to bitch about it. But the craziest thing about all of this is that there are followers of theirs that are willing to accept that.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. Like, why would anybody listen to that and be like, "Yep, all right, cool"? What? No.
Yeah, there's always a percentage of crazy, though. I mean, they have followers, but back when they were first covering this 2 years ago, they had a lot of followers who were interested in it. You look at their comments on their May 2018 video or their October 2018 video after the Portland Retro Gaming Expo release. There was a lot of people that followed Pat's channel that had interesting things to say, or they were interested in it. I mean, the people are all over the spectrum. They are catering to the people who lap this up because these videos get a lot of views, because they get a little bit of traction for it. because it's a narrative they want to run with. And if
Well,
it pans out how they think it's going to pan out, it's all positive for them.
I will say this. Unfortunately, there's a precedence of companies coming in that aren't the big three and failing and delays and stuff. But don't assume that, though. Don't assume that's going to happen. And especially if they're willing to talk to you. I mean, even Atari VCS, lots of people have had issues with that one. Why wouldn't if someone wanted to talk there, why wouldn't you take them off? I'm not even saying Tommy Tallarico, I'm saying it. Yeah.
I can speak to that. I wanted the Atari VCS to prove me wrong, just like I want everything to prove me wrong. I really do. And the Amico did prove me wrong. The Atari VCS proved me right, where I was going to their PR department. I was like, let me talk to you guys. Let me get something out of you. Let me find out so that we can dispel all these rumors that you guys are a scam. That I can tell my audience that no, what everyone is saying is wrong, that this is really what the company is. And they're like, I'm like, what? What is wrong with you guys?
No, that's where alarm bells go off to me if someone doesn't want to talk. I mean,
exactly.
All right, we still didn't get to
unless you're already established and successful, like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. I get it. They're not going to talk to a nobody, but someone who's a newcomer, someone who's trying to make an impact, you want to open up to the audience. You want to tell them, hey, get excited. Here's what we got to offer. Atari is just like the complete opposite of that. It makes no sense. It's so cocky. It's so weird. I don't get it.
Well, I don't know, but I do hope the Amico really takes off, and that I can't wait to see, because they're like, I'd be shocked. Well, they're talking about release dates, but I'd like them to be shocked altogether when that sales numbers and stuff come out. I really.
Guesses, Tommy, weren't they saying like? I'd be surprised if it sells 1,000 units or 800.
5,000. 5,000 units, they said. Yeah, we did that in about 5 hours.
Okay.
And lies in the past.
Lies.
He has not earned the benefit of the doubt. At least
lies in the past.
Yeah, okay. not a single lie in the past, but okay.
Even if you haven't earned the benefit of the doubt, you still need to present the other side. If you're trying to be a fair arbiter and level this to your audience of what's being presented, show both sides. Talk about what they're trying to do, then say why you don't believe that. He's saying you've lied in the past. He's not coming to say what you've lied about. He's just throwing out that you've lied in the past. You are not a fair dealer.
In my video today, I literally said, like, I went up there with the intention of finding out what was wrong with this. And I wanted to tell you guys why I think this is going to be what I said. And it wasn't that. Like, that's giving both sides of it. I feel like
to be devil's advocate, maybe you could say Tommy has like a marketing or bias angle in his responses, but no lies.
Sure.
No lies. I haven't heard any lies yet. He's still promoting. You still want to put your best face on your product, and
but I will say this though, is that because I've been so transparent from the beginning, is that certain things do change throughout the console development, right?
There's evolution.
Exactly. And so are there things that I said 2.5 years ago that are now different? Yeah, absolutely. I'd be the first one to admit it, but it's not because I lied, like, oh, I'm going to tell somebody something this now when it's not really true. That's what a lie is, right? But if we say, hey, we're going to have Qi charging, and then we end up going with wireless contact charging instead of Qi charging. Oh, he lied. He said it had Qi charging. Well, no, and by the way, it's for the better. It's, we did a better way of charging, but you want to call me a liar. So it is kind of,
well, I'll be honest. I'm rooting for you, Tommy. I do think you made, I'll say to be I want the viewer to say, Max is being fair. I do think you made a few mistakes.
Sure.
And that's just announcing the price, because the consumer will lose their shit if you change the price.
Yep.
And if you do things in the future, I would say don't even announce the price.
Right.
Yeah, even for peripherals and stuff, just don't do it until it's closer, because it's not worth it. It's not
absolutely
worth it.
Fair comment. And to be clear, the only reason I wanted to put that price range in there is because I wanted people to know and this is exactly why I chose the prices that we did, because that's what we were shooting for. But I wanted to make sure people understood that this is not a retro machine, right? Because those are like $80 and below. But I also wanted people to know and understand that this wasn't like a full-on PlayStation, Xbox, super fast thing. We wanted to be somewhere in the middle. And that's how we got those. That's where we came up with those prices. Like, you know what? We don't want to be known as a retro box, and we don't want to be known as a, as a, $500 system. Let's choose somewhere in the middle, 150 to 179. So the reason we did that was to, and I understand the impact that, that had. And if I had to do it over, sure, I wouldn't have mentioned it at all. I could have said that in a different way.
Yeah.
But that was my easy way of saying it, and that it taught me a lesson.
And then my other
my
other criticism of you would be when you were on Review Tech in we talked about this before, the Gamer Racist and Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's funny though. I think it's hilarious, but I understand why people are bitching about that.
Sure.
I understand.
Well, people thought I were attacking them.
No, but I love that type of engagement because it makes you less boring and fun. Like I'm like, that's talk. Yeah. Like that's. I mean, if you're friends, you talk to your friends like that, so it gives you more personality.
That's one of my big, and that's one of my big problems is that when I'm doing an interview, it's not like a typical like here's a executive of a company and here's an interviewer and you got to toe the company line and here's your talking points and this and that. Mm-hmm. I'm like the exact opposite of that. Yeah. Again, like world needs interviews with like Elon Musk and he's like that or
but that shows you have a personality. I still think like I don't know what a better I totally understand where you're going with, but I don't know what a better word would be, like consolist or something. But I totally get what you're mean. I totally got your point. Yeah.
I kind of the word racist has a lot of negative connotation, and I can see where some people would be offended by it. And I don't think the analogy fit very well to call someone gaming racist. But
it was in the moment.
I know. I that's why I want to say I think Tommy's intent was to say they are acting like racist act. They are dogmatic. They are absolute. They are absolutionists. They are my way or the highway. You are with us or you. And there's other people that act that way too. But I think that was the first thing that came to you in the moment. And when we're talking, I don't like
you should bring it up, Tommy, either. But they're going to be like, oh, these. I want them to say, oh, it's not just a bunch of shills not being able to push Tommy a little bit.
Yeah,
so that's the only reason I bring it up because those weren't great moments, but I enjoyed them though.
How many hundreds of hours? Tell me this. Yeah. How many hundreds of hours of interviews have I done?
Yeah.
And
you'll make a mistake again.
And I want to take back about 20 seconds of them. That's pretty good. That's pretty good percentage.
I'll tell you what, Tommy. I'll be on the sidelines watching you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Being a YouTuber, I've learned, especially dealing with the commentary community, you can be perfect for 1,000 years.
No such thing.
And then like a 3-second thing, you say one thing, and then we'll like blow that up to be bigger than
I'll tell you what, Tommy. I was grabbing the popcorn. I was like, "Oh, Tommy!" I was laughing my ass off. I was like, "Oh, this is." I loved it though. I loved it. I think it's hilarious. Okay. All right. Let's see what else they say.
Ian, would you agree he is not at this point?
No, I would not give him the benefit of the doubt.
Going back to things like, we're going to do 2D games on our console better than the PS4 and modern consoles.
Stop.
Remember that shit from 2 years ago?
Stop.
You didn't say that. RGT85 jumped in and said that. You think you had said, and I listened to an interview with Mike Micah on a podcast where he was talking about the 2D chip and how he was very much interested in the fact that this is going to allow developers to have like new APIs. It's going to be easier to make these games than they would be able to make them on a PS4 or an Xbox One because of the nature of all those things that are in the console. So you're stripping it down to the things that make 2D. You're focused on the 2D and you're focused on the ease of development for that. Developers would have an easier time and a faster time developing for your chip than the competition.
Exactly. And Mike Micah, who's very respected in the retro community, and one of Pat's buddies actually works for Mike, I believe. But and so he's as legit as he gets, and he's on our advisory board as a hardware consultant. He's doing a couple of really huge games for us. In fact, you'll see Mike Micah in an upcoming video that we'll be coming out with. And so once again, when he says that, when they say something, they're so loose with saying, oh, this is a scam. I don't give him the benefit of the doubt. He's insulting the entire, the hundreds and hundreds of people who are actually working on this as well. He insults Mike Micah, but to be clear though, that comment was actually like you said, it wasn't even true. It never even came from me. Somebody grabbed that as a bullet point. They put it on Reset Era, and then it became like, oh, he says it's going to be faster than the PlayStation 5. That was never said ever. What I was trying to say is that that developers will have a faster time, and it came out wrong. Again, if I could have worded it better during the live launch of the at the Portland Retro Game Expo. By the way, I don't know if I've ever said this or not, but I met Pat the day before I did my keynote address. I met, and I didn't recognize him or anything like that, but he, we kind of passed each other. And I think it was after hours or something. And we were just in one of the halls, and I was like, hey, dude, I kind of recognize him, but I didn't know he even had I don't think he had a podcast. I don't remember exactly, but I did, hey, how you doing? I was, nice. And he came up to me, and he goes, hey, how you doing? I said, yeah. So, I said, look, I know you're into the retro stuff. I said, I'm having I'm doing my, I'm doing I was the keynote address of the entire conference, right? The most important speech of the entire conference. I said, hey, I'm doing my keynote address tomorrow night, and I know you're into retro. You should come by and stop by. Now, you would think that somebody who is so into retro would go to the keynote address, especially when the keynote guy never showed up, didn't go.
Huh.
All right, let's see what else.
No one talks about these outlandish claims.
Yeah,
What else?
board is going to do? Yeah,
this $15 Android board will do better games than $400 consoles. Anyway,
that. I was
even if that
a $15 Android board.
Wow, that's a banana pie. That's a half a banana pie.
You're just throwing boards and foot baths.
Yeah, I got a mental image of a 1960s computer with gigantic light bulbs in it going in this thing.
The Whopper 4.
Oh,
console was somehow running those games. That's not my definition of a working console. A working console to me is something close to retail and consumer ready.
Got it.
I want to splice that here because
can we just say real quick? So a guy who knows how to put a book together is telling you how to
Jay
put
Allard and all the other.
I don't think
Mike
if I
Micah.
can remember right, I don't know if the book was exactly on time either.
No, I think it was.
Actually, now that I think,
I'm wondering, does he disclose that he uses ghostwriters? Do they?
Yes. Yeah. He
Okay,
discloses
fair enough.
for both of his books.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
And
That's
congratulations on your books, Pat. I'm not hating on your books. If
Did you buy one?
No, I didn't.
I did.
if you ask,
I'm sorry, Pat. I'm a fan, but I didn't buy your book. I've been subscribed to your channel for a lot. I still want to talk to you, and I pre-ordered 2 Amicos, maybe 3 if I can afford it for my nieces. Because I'll be honest, no shilling.
If you act quick, you can get Pat's book for 10% off. I don't know if the 4th of July sale is passed yet, but based off of shipping and tax, the 10% will save you maybe part of the tax.
Okay. I'm not gonna hate on him. You're fair to bring that up, Smash JT, but I'm not gonna hate on them for doing a sale.
While we're on Pat's book for a minute, because I did buy the
Oh,
the
you
book.
did.
Yes.
This is a consumer of the completely Pat the NES punk. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I bought the book. He does have ghostwriters. I think some of his quips and entries are entertaining. I'm not going to dismiss his points of view on it. But there's no rationale to have the book, to Pat's line of thinking. I mean, all of this information on the games are already free on the internet, so why would you buy the book? I mean, Pat is applying that to the Amico. Why would you pay for these games when you can get the mobile games for free and have that amazing experience with mobile games?
Wow.
He put a book together.
Oh
put a
man,
book together.
It's getting hot in here. Hey, I want you to sell books and keep the 10% off, Pat.
but he brings up a good point.
No,
I mean,
it's fair. It's fair.
And I'm not saying it's a bad book or it doesn't have a place. It does have a place. There weren't that many coffee table books for people who love retro video games out at the time. So
I hope he
saw
sells
this
a lot
opening.
when the cons come back. I hope he gets a lot. And they do the con circuit, I believe. So this does impact them financially. So maybe that justifies the GoFundMe, I guess.
So what would Pat say if Tommy did the con circuit and he had a bunch of amigos behind him sitting at a table signing them for people? Would he be knocking them for that? Like what's okay in Pat's world?
Well, that's not what a CEO does.
I've got to find a way to get my Amico boxes signed. I'll just ship you the boxes when I get them.
What state are you in? You're Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. We'll make it happen.
Tommy, you should do
I'll ship my boxes to you just to get them signed because I'm keeping the boxes.
You should do that. You should sign like the first group of pre-orders, like 2,600 or whatever it was.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Every single one of those. You got the poster in those. That's what it is. Okay.
I signed the boxes. I hand number and sign every one. That's gonna go up on my wall.
That'll be up on my wall.
Yeah.
All right, but I missed the first pre-order. That's why I'm concerned.
We'll get you straight away.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
No worries, Max. I missed it as well.
When we see those videos, we don't see the game boot up. We don't see the game being loaded. We don't see the console powered up. We don't see the LED lights around the console.
Yes,
we don't see the controllers being synced to the console. We don't see anything.
Stop that! Stop. Yeah, yes, yes, you have. It's in again. I guess he doesn't watch any of the videos, even though people tell him, give him the facts. But the controllers, you can see them getting hooked up to the console. It's actually really cool. I can even, I'll tell you this now, is that when you use the mobile app as opposed to the real controller, it shows like little pictures of each one, like little art things. So like who's playing on another mobile device just popped up and it looks like a little mobile device or it looks like a little Amico controller and stuff. So anyway, yes, that we've had that working I think since I'm going to say December or January that got added to our UI user interface. Okay, go ahead.
So again, I don't know if we can give them the benefit of the doubt.
You keep saying
anyway.
And why can't you give YouTubers the benefit of the doubt? Honestly, if there's that, and I'm a YouTuber, I'm serious. Like people on the internet, this Tumblr page. Why do you give them the benefit?
Best site on the internet.
But actually, people that have worked their whole careers, don't give them.
That's where you get your Intellivision info from a tabloid site.
Yeah, but give YouTubers the utmost respect, and I have a.
Oh, but by the way, YouTubers that have multiple fake accounts that have been confirmed, right, and have been booted off of. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I assume that some of them are the same, but I can't prove it.
If you want to know, there's people send me stuff all the time.
But the tone of certain ones in the comment section was exactly the same. Their comments seemed very similar. Their style, you could get like someone's style, like different accounts. It seemed very similar, but I can't prove it. So I'm not gonna.
I'll show you. People send me these documents all the time and stuff, and it's pretty fun. But yes, it has been confirmed.
Okay, all right.
Tommy wanted to shut us up in the past week. All he had to do, Ian, was, "Hey, Pat, here's a console. I'm hooking up HDMI to the
That's
TV.
coming,
Here's
I
the
believe.
power button. It's on. There's a splash screen.
I mean,
click
I
That is
think-
literally what you've been offering to do for him this whole time.
Yeah.
Lots, even the big three, they do not show their interface right away because the competition's gonna, because you want it to look as smooth as heck, and you don't want to give not that you're in competition with them, you don't want to give you don't want to give other people your interface because that's a big experience.
Our interface is very, very unique. It's very special. I've never seen anything like it. And also, the way we set up certain things, the way we set up our store, the way we set up our library is very, very unique. And that's going to be its own thing and its own reveal when the time is right.
Right. Also, I
interject for a moment?
I think you should keep that under wraps for longer.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because you want it when you get the system in your home, you want it to be fresh. Oh, this is cool. You don't want to have everything explained. It's like seeing the whole movie or all these 100 trailers before you get to the movie. You don't want to. You want it to be fresh when you get in the. That's my point of view. Okay, Retro, you had
Yeah, you're working. You're working on your interface. That's something that doesn't need to be done a month before manufacturing is kind of hot and heavy. If you're showing anything right now with your interface that for one reason or another you don't get to the point that you want it to get and have finished when you're flashing it on those chips, then you're showing people stuff that may not actually make it into the system, and then you're on the hook for something like that. If you have some special feature, they're going to complain. What happened to this? You were supposed to have this. What happened to this little box that was in the lower left corner? You don't have it. You're lying to me. You're showing stuff that doesn't exist. You have a marketing plan. You have a time when you want to reveal this stuff. Presumably, it's after you're done working on any of the pieces of that user interface that you might want to tweak. You might want to have some little features added, up to the 11th hour. Why wouldn't you work to the 11th hour if you don't have to flash that stuff onto the chips until the chips are ready to be put into the units and the units are ready to go onto, shipping pallets at some point in August? If we're keeping to the October date, you still have time on the clock.
Well,
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, with this type of console too, there will be physical media, but the focus is on the storefront and digital and getting them digital at launch. I think you're going to have digital at launch, right? Right.
Of course.
So that is very important. That is a big reveal.
Simple.
Sometimes not everyone has everything with a launch online storefront right away day one. So it is a big reveal, and that's not something you just want to throw out there just for Pat and Ian.
And it's the same with the physical media as well. That's its own. It's its own thing. It's its own reveal.
Right, and you have to do the timing right so it's fresh. You don't want it revealed too soon, or because that I see that as a big reveal. I mean, I am curious.
Yeah,
but I Okay, let's see what
I'm going to go with the Hamilton quote. I know you like spam a lot, Tommy, but you don't want to blow your shot.
There you go.
The menu, and I'm going to load up the game and play it. That's all you'd have to have done.
Yeah.
And
come on and see it.
Even if you did that, though, there's no guarantee that means it's ready for production.
Just go see it. If that's their issue, just go up and see it. If those are your questions,
I'll do a live video stream. I'll do a live video with them in the office. They can see it right there, and they can ask me questions. Okay, go to the left now, just so you're not making it phony. Oh, okay, I'll go to the left. What else you want? Very simple.
Let's walk behind the TV. I want to see the computer back there.
I mean, listen. I'm gonna throw it up to all you Pat and Ian viewers that are watching right now and thumbsing it down. Go right ahead. Thanks for watching. But it's up to you to say enough is enough, Pat and Ian. Just talk to him. It's all the viewer. You're not going to get it unless his viewers are going to start to say, "Come on, just talk to him already. Just go see it." That's the only way it's going to happen. I don't think they're gonna pre-order. So,
Max, I appreciate your tenacity, but I don't think that's it. They're gonna ride this through launch, and then they're gonna pick on something else.
Double and triple down. You think? Everyone think that's what's gonna happen here? I hope not. I'm a supporter of Pat and Ian. I mean, I don't do your Patreon.
Here's the other angle. Let me just for a second, and I know we're running really long here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's right. It's funny.
But let's just go against the grain of what I'm thinking about this. Let's think the Amico launches, falls flat on its face, fails completely, goes out of business, and sucks completely.
Oh, let's get
And
Tommy's face on that. Uh-oh, Tommy.
Yeah, right. Pat and Ian
He's not worried.
Pat and Ian would be dancing on the grave of this thing, saying, "We told you guys, we told you." And I'm like, what does that accomplish? Like, Tommy is trying to introduce something new and interesting and fun that you don't have to buy, but if you want to, you can type thing. Why would you be excited for this to fail?
I think the angle they're taking is they're pro-consumer and they don't want consumers to waste their money. Which he says he's got active games developed for 2021.
Nobody has to buy it.
Right.
That's my whole point. Like, they're trying to tell everyone it's a scam.
They're anti-innovation.
Yeah,
I don't even think they're genuine enough to be pro-consumer. To be honest with you.
No,
okay. Max, have you heard their take on whether or not there's any room for another console?
Why would you say that? I always say try. If you have something new, try it. Now, where I would be overly critical is if they were going to go for the market of PS4. I mean, if someone comes in the market and wants to try the Switch, that would be hard because it's Nintendo. If they try to do something similar to Switch, you have a dock, you take it with you. Yeah. I think someone should try that, but it would be hard.
Ain't going to be me.
No, and then the worst alternative would be go after Sony and Xbox to do a high-powered machine. Why would you even try?
Google had $1 billion and they couldn't do it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, but there should be room for competition. I mean,
right.
If Nintendo is the only thing on the market that's catering to families and they're catering to everybody else and their eyes are not on the family ball like maybe they used to be, maybe there's room for someone to come in and kind of take up part of that market. VTech isn't out there anymore. Leapfrog isn't out there anymore. It's all done on apps. So there might be room for a system that has a little more appeal to families than what Nintendo can put out. Animal Crossing, another game in 6 months.
And the design of the controller fits right into, the iPhone, smartphones, in between that and Switch. It fits right in the middle there.
Yeah,
like a natural progression. Yeah.
Max, not to mention the human instinct doesn't like change. They're afraid of something new. They like what they're used to. They like what they're comfortable with. I mean, look back when Microsoft launched the Xbox, there was a ton of hate for that thing.
Right.
People were like, Microsoft doesn't have a chance in hell. Sony and Nintendo, there's not room for a third. This is crazy. It's already been proven when Sega failed, there's not room for a third. And sure enough, after Microsoft lost money on the original Xbox, they had enough money to go back again with the 360, and now they're making money on it. So, I mean, people just want to hate on things. They do.
Yeah. All right. I do want to finish this though.
Let's get this question. But at least you could have shut me and Ian up.
Nothing could shut you guys up. I'll be honest there. As a fan, nothing could shut them up. As a fan.
About that. At this point, it's getting ridiculous.
I think I make Ian smile.
There is a nice theory at my favorite website, amicogames.com, your source for Intellivision Amico
give them the benefit of doubt. A Tumblr page.
Yeah. They'll give them the benefit.
Yeah, but don't give Tommy Tallarico.
There was a comment about surmising because who's your new favorite YouTuber?
I'm his favorite
that wanted to be on the show with us.
The Madman.
That's right. I'm coming for you, punks.
Man.
Mad Movie Man. What was
Mad Max?
I don't know, but he came out. He left a comment yesterday saying that if he wanted to know if we were ready to talk to the Madman.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
so it's I don't want to punch down.
By the way, I believe I am.
To me, it's funny.
He's a YouTuber.
He wears
I leave comments on their page and they don't even see them anymore. So
listen.
Even though I've never attacked them personally, I've never said anything completely rude or anything. I've just questioned them. I've made basic questions and said, here's where I stand. And they shadow banned me because I made videos that were not in line with what they thought. So apparently I am not allowed on their platform. That's the environment.
Well, okay, now I got to bring up Intellivision censoring comments on theirs because I got to be fair. If you are going family friendly, you don't want nonsense on your storefront, like Tommy said. I don't like censorship either, But if you are going family friendly, you have to consider that.
Are you saying?
I do.
Hold on. Wait. Are you saying Pat and Ian are going family friendly on their channel now?
No.
He's saying if
I'm
Intellivision
saying,
is going in family
no,
friendly.
because they're gonna say that we're banned on certain comment sections. I'm just saying. I'm being devil's advocate to the certain like ST and whatever.
Those are two different environments.
Right, the environment. You have to consider the environment and the product and what you're. Listen, Tommy is not here to just sell his YouTube channel. He's here to sell a product that's family friendly.
I've gone on record from the beginning, as always, with full transparency, to say if you're going to leave, if you're going to swear, leave nasty language or really nasty comments on YouTube. If you look, go on any of our videos, and you'll see about 5% of the comments are negative. So whatever, you can put negative comments. They can put negative comments all day long. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. But when you leave nasty comments with foul language, then yeah, it's my right. Just if I had a
because you want kids to be able to go on your. I mean, is within reason too. They do research your content on YouTube too. It's not exactly YouTube Kids, but it's somewhere in the middle. Okay.
I'm going to be pro censorship here because some of the crap that some of these people leave, I look at like small channels and you got the same. Tommy's been called, there's only 5 people that dislike Intellivision. No, he says there's 5 to 10 people that are the same people that go on every single video. The crap they leave. If I wanted that comment on the content I create, I'd buy a bathroom stall. That's where that belongs. It's
I'll be honest. I like pushback, so I left the comments on my video. I left them there. I engaged with you, but you have to realize.
What did you? So Max, let me ask you this now.
Okay. All right.
So the last video that we did together, which is what this video that we're talking about now was based off of. So you interacted with. In fact, you interacted with the person who he's now quoting.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would even, not with you here, but I would have them on my show anytime. I don't care.
Right.
I'll talk to anyone.
You kidding me? I'd love to do on the show with them. That'd be great. You could be the judge.
The TumblrPage.com, the footbath.com. I'm like, I'll invite you to my show for sure.
Please.
Okay.
And so they ask a whole bunch of the same questions. I answered every one of them on your video, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what was your experience? Is my question to you. What was your experience with these folks? Now, all you did was you asked people to ask the tough questions, and you read their questions. I answered all their questions. And what was your what was your feedback from that exchange? Because I saw,
they didn't like
they called you fat right out of the gate. They called your names, right?
I don't care. Yeah, I've been in quarantine too long. I need to work out. Tommy's been getting healthy. He says he's been working out. I should end this video and go work out. What did you think of their maturity level and reasonable level? To be completely honest with you, I think they're fun. I don't hate them. I mean, not that you hate them either. I think some of the stuff is hilarious. You like that? You like to mix it up then? Well, I mean, look at my channel. I do some hot topics. I thrive. I enjoy that type of interaction. I can understand if you're a creator, it's disappointing to hear, it's when you're trying to create something. So I get that viewpoint. But as like just a commentator, if this is YouTube and I'm in this game, I enjoy that back and forth. I appreciate the constructive feedback. As long as it doesn't cross, I think it's funny. Like someone said to me in the comment section, if Tommy farted in the room, I would praise it and defend the fart. I'm like, wow. No, I'm not a fart sniffer. I don't. Or someone on that page, they said Tommy Tallarico talked to a masked a-hole for hours. I thought that was hilarious. I'll be your masked a-hole. Well, I liked one of the comments you left back to the guy after you asked his comments, and then you said something like,
Go call a doctor. You need help. Like
no,
you
I do. Listen, so I don't know if you guys know this, but I do have mental health problems, and I do have a doctor, and I am on medicine, and I am a mental health advocate. Even though I think they're funny, I think the amount of time that they are investing in something like this to hate on it, that they should get some help, even though some of it's in fun, some of it might cross the line. I've been in this YouTube game where I've seen a lot of haters that are a lot worse than this. I have seen some crazy stuff, which I'm not going to comment here. We're getting back to this. So I actually think you're lucky that these are your haters.
You like my haters.
No, I think they make you more relevant. Like I think the Streisand effect, where they keep saying this is bad, this is they're scamming you, and when you come in and say no, I'm not, and you defend yourself, it makes you more popular. So I think it's actually helping you. Right. So Pat and Ian, you're just helping Tommy. I'm not saying that is their intention to damage you. They're just taking a weird skew. I mean, you don't think their intention is to damage us at this point? I think their intention is to get totally is. I think their intention is to find the next failure. This is what YouTubers get. But by damaging us. Well, YouTubers get caught up in where they were most relevant and try to regain that moment in time, and they are stuck in that. And that's when you grow your channel. Unfortunately, when the majority of YouTubers in like this commentary and like movies, entertainment, when you gain the most subs and relevancy is when you catch a company slipping or start hating on something preemptively, and then the general public joins in. That's where you really shoot up. Unfortunately, this is YouTube. I have my issues there too. That this is the way it is, but all right, let's finish this.
Dr. Doom asked the interview Tommy here.
Dr. Doom.
There was this comment though that had a good theory about what's going on with the Amico.
Oh, here's
the
theory.
Just a comment. I can't. We'll leave it up to you whether or not you agree with it.
Okay.
Here's what I got. This is from a commenter named ST. Intellivision knows that this won't sell as much as Tommy had originally hoped. The break even at this new price point, they only need to sell 180.
And he said the comment was Intellivision doesn't even think that it'll sell as many as Tommy says. What again? The comment he's basing that on is that I said our break-even point is 180,000 units. That has nothing to do with anything except it's just a fact. It's a number. So they're equating that with, Intellivision thinks that it can only sell a million or 2 million units. No, that's not what was said. And I said that, I wanted to sell 100 million units. So the whole premise starts out with being something that's completely misunderstood, misrepresented, and misinformed.
I think what they're saying, their viewpoint is that you raise the price because not as many pre-order sales came in, instead of actually making the product better materials.
But no, the pre-orders sold for more. The Founders Edition was $299, and we sold out 2,600 in under 5 hours. So that's exactly the opposite.
I would ask Mr. ST exactly how many marketing dollars did Intellivision invest to try and get those pre-orders to sell if they were that worried about it before they changed
that would be
price.
Zero.
Price is one of the things in your business plan that you kind of come up with pretty early on.
So, like I say, Tommy, please don't announce prices next time. Please don't. I'm just begging you.
Lesson learned.
No, I mean you're a veteran in the industry, but like launching a console, something different for you. Sure. And I know you like to talk. That's. I mean, you'd like to give. People keep you to your word. They don't have within reason. They don't
message received.
They don't do within reason. That things change in active development. This is why you still don't know exactly the prices for the PS5 or X Series X.
I was going to say, back in the day, they used to announce the prices as soon as possible, and as time's gone on, they've gone slower and slower. And
remember the $600 for PS3.
Yeah, I feel like I have a mental image of, you remember that Simpsons with Homer and the car that he built with his brother, and they're like, and it costs, it's like an insane amount, and everyone's like, what?
Now they don't even tell the price when you're at the store. You get like a text message like, "Thank you for purchasing this. Here's your receipt," and it's like $100 more than you thought it'd be.
This is why they lose their mind. Also no consideration of the other costs with buying a launch console, extra controllers and stuff. They can't get past the price. It's just not worth. It's not worth it, Tommy. It's not.
And I'd like to
games too.
Yeah. I'd like to add, because it's, to be fair to Tom, I know going in with that price, you were looking at like a budget range, but in early interviews that you were doing back in, it's probably early 2019, you were adding the caveat that the price may be a little higher, maybe a little lower. You don't know. Yeah, I think you were kind of realizing the price might fluctuate from that point. You go back and just search for Intellivision videos, sort them by order, and go and look at those early interviews. You were hitting that price point on a lot of those videos.
Yeah.
But they're not talking about that. They're just talking about how you're wrong on the price.
Well, even, you know, thinking about coming from a simpleton like this cat right here. I know people like to lock on to certain things, but I'm a big fan of how words are used. And I seem to remember Tommy always talking about target price, ballpark price.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
People don't hear the target part and they just hear the price.
Yeah,
I get that people lock onto it. But if this knucklehead can totally understand that 100%, I just don't get why it becomes a thing when things change. I mean, I guess people don't.
People don't use within reason or benefit of the doubt. Or,
right. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bummed out when I saw it went up a little bit. But I got it. I understood why.
They're like rooting for him to not meet that release date, which is, I would never root for any console not to make a release date, even if it's not what I'm interested in.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want it to come out so you could comment on it? That would be good for you to comment on. They're not gonna, I don't think they're going to buy it.
I'd rather be right that they said it would be
personal.
Yeah. All right.
3,000 Amicos, which is their internal numbers they reported, which is a number their research indicates is
So
obtainable.
stop there.
The majority
So
of families looking for this
again with the little aside there. Oh, those are the internal numbers that they reported. So again, he's trying to say, he's trying to imply that we lied about that as well. Yeah, you know what we did? We had so many orders that we shut them off, and we didn't want to take anyone, even though so many more people wanted to buy them after that 5th hour. We didn't want to take their money. We didn't want to take their pre-order. So again, it's just the implement, you know, the implying is so, you know, foul and misinformed and incorrect that it's hilarious.
You watch these videos, there's tons of aspersion being cast.
Yeah.
All right. So let's finish it.
of experience will buy a Switch for the extra cost instead. So they hiked the price up from $250 to $300
because you're a snake oil salesman.
Run from the planned $199 MSRP.
The words they use, they have they go a long way. You know, like I'm a big fan too of how words, not just what words are used, but how they say the words, especially video, mean. They warp people's minds who are listening, and they get them. It's almost like a weird background hypnosis.
Yeah,
I agree. It's intonation, and they're leading their audience.
Unfortunately, the more I've been on YouTube, people do get influenced by these personalities. I would like to say that the general public doesn't get influenced, but unfortunately, they do. So I think you should you should take your words a little more seriously here.
Human nature.
Why I think these guys have a responsibility to report the truth and be honest about things.
Right.
I think that's why we're having this whole podcast in the first place.
All right.
We're doing our due diligence.
In the initial batch gets sold to the retro gamer market that Tommy is exploiting.
See, you're right. Another word.
Down to $199 and aim their marketing to parents of young kids, families at the mall.
Although this is ST's comments, not Pat. He's just reading it.
Well, but he said he
one that they picked out to read to their audience is my
right.
They're still delivering a message.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But exploiting, there's the bias there. I said that's the other thing in that comment section. I'm like, you have your bias all over the place. You want it to fail. Yeah. Everything is exploiting, hiking. Those are all those are loaded words.
Hospitals,
I will say,
while
it's still paused right now, the whole time we've been having this podcast, I'm getting a flood of comments from people that used to be fans of Pat and Ian that are saying that was way off the mark today, and holy crap, it's completely changed their opinion of them. So in Tommy's defense, people aren't just sheep. People are listening, and they're like, wait a second, this isn't right. Hold on, let me go listen to someone else. And they're like, yeah, wait, this sounds more right. So at least you got people thinking for themselves, which
Good.
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
and I'm happy.
I'm not saying everyone, but unfortunately they do have influence, that's why we should take it serious. That's why Tommy, you should absolutely respond, because they have a big enough platform.
Which I do.
So
they haven't shadow
walls of
banned you like
text.
they shadow banned me, so you could actually still make a voice there.
they haven't blocked me yet. Pat and Ian, please don't block me, because we got to talk soon.
Hold your breath.
Just make another Twitter account and show a lot of cleavage. You'll be fine.
Oh, really? Is that what that takes?
Go buy stadium events and have them sign it.
Etc. The reason Tommy doesn't show an actual console isn't because he's poor. It's because he's not fronting the bill for most of what is spent by Intellivision Entertainment. The funds come from private investors, your pre-orders, grants from foreign governments, etc. That's the reason for the extensive market research. It's to appease investors who need to see
can
data
stop there for
moving
a second.
Okay.
So he said that all of our investor dollars come from the German government and from your pre-orders, meaning the folks pre-orders. That let me see, that I'll tell you exactly. That represents about 1/20th of the investment money that is come in. So again, they want to paint the picture like, oh, you need the pre-orders in order to to fund the company. It's
Tommy, let me ask you a quick question.
Please.
Before you even announced the Amico was coming, before you even announced you had anything to do with Intellivision, how long had you been working on this project?
It was, Keith, we announced at the end of March,
right.
We announced that I became president and CEO and that Intellivision Entertainment launched. Keith Robinson, the former president of Intellivision Productions, he passed away June of I believe it was late June the year before. So we had started talking at that point. And so it had been about maybe a year. Let me be accurate. July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So 9 months.
Okay.
Before it was even announced. And by the way, I got news for you. We had investing dollars even before we announced. So obviously.
All right.
Yeah, the very first person we hired was a hardware engineer.
Yeah.
Oh, but I thought you just started now.
No, we hired 4 of them, in fact.
Just the face, the snake oil salesman, the con man. The truth is they need every bit of that pre-order money because the majority of their early work went into showing something viable for investors to get on board, not building an actual system. Make no mistake, this thing is barely being pieced together. They are
make no mistake.
Based on
Make
what?
no mistake, we have offices in Irvine with full-time employees. We have offices in Salt Lake City, San Francisco, Nuremberg, Germany, and Dubai. But yeah, we're just piecing everything together. Yeah, common sense, folks.
I can confirm the Irvine because I was there and I met the employees and it exists. It's real.
Right.
All right. Going Alex Jones all up in here.
Yeah.
Schedule now and definitely do not have a completed game system anywhere close to ready for launch, which is what we said last week.
Lie.
Tommy is lying about that because it is his job to string along the retro gamers who will pay an inflated price. Long term, Tommy doesn't know what the Amico will be because it's not him who makes those decisions. It's his
investors.
It is.
Okay.
I didn't make
investors don't make decisions on what the company does. Investors.
It's a private company.
Thank you. Retro, you take this one.
Yeah, they don't seem to understand in investment what an angel investor is, what the difference between a private investor or a public invested company is. They just don't seem to comprehend. They think, oh, the investors are fronting money, so they get to make decisions. No, the investors front money based upon you presenting a return equity. If there is equity in the company, then they get a small piece of it, but you're not giving away 50% of the company.
The only time that an investor would get some kind of decision-making capability is that if a big VC, venture capitalist, or a big investor comes in, they may ask or require for a big amount of money they may ask to be a seat on the board of directors. So typically a company might have anywhere from 10 to 12 members on the board of directors that all would vote on certain things, but not daily stuff. This is like once a quarter or something like that. So that is the lowest, now I'll tell you that we have 5 people on our board of our board. We have 5 people. So, and we've taken in, lots and lots of money. And so we've kept the board pretty pure, which is, again, a sign of a lot of success.
All right. Let's see how much. Why are we going? Oh, man, they're really going to comment on that Amico website. Another goddamn long interview.
Yeah, that's all right.
Over a 10-minute. They complained that I did 40 minutes over 20 minutes. We're doing 2 hours for 10 minutes.
Hey, I had to scroll through like 15 minutes for that crappy website. They can sit through 2 hours of this.
That's not a totally unreasonable take.
It's not totally
after the money
unreasonable.
comes
He can't even say that with a straight face. It's not total. That reveals his actual thoughts, Tommy. It's not totally unreasonable. So that shows integrity of his character. That he kind of is like, he kind of knows it's a little bit of bullshit.
It could be a letter saying that this is being built on Mars and that they are running out of equipment because there's not enough resources there. Not a totally unreasonable take.
Totally unreasonable.
I wonder why no one's asking why is no one asking the hard questions about Martian taxpayer money being used?
No.
Is this console really made out of cheese? We need to find out.
No. I'm gonna say that now that we're watching this, I watched it earlier, but now that we're watching it, that is the most revealing moment of this whole video and this whole spiel. It's not totally unreasonable. That's a gotcha moment right there. That's a gotcha moment right now because he's kind of saying it's unreasonable. It's not totally unreasonable. Is that revealing to you guys? I mean, I think it is. He kind of knows it's a little bit of bullshit. I'm sorry, Pat. I'm sorry. You kind of know it's a little.
I'll give him this. It's very, very sneaky and sly how he slides in like a random commenter to give basically what his opinion is, so that if we criticize it, he can be like, "Hey, I'm just reading a random commenter. I'm not saying that's my opinion." It's like, no, that is your opinion. If that's what you're saying, you back it up saying, not totally unreasonable. That's your take.
He pulled one comment off Atari Age that's just like, this guy's amazing. He's speaking my mind.
Not Atari Age.
This Matt Pontry.
That guy's YouTube channel.
Oh, not totally unreasonable. Wow. I mean, that's my take. I got to be honest. I'm still your.
It's a good take.
I'm still your subscriber, Pat. I still want to talk to you, but I kind of like that made me cringe a little bit. It's not totally unreasonable.
Max,
Yes.
I will say your take right now is not totally unreasonable either.
Okay.
And I might use that a lot more going forward now because that is becoming.
Oh my god!
I'm going to reply to that to the trolls that come into this comment section. You're not totally unreasonable, but kind of.
I'm going to totally take that going forward. That's going to be part of my nomenclature.
He basically had to give up.
Oh yeah, because when you get the more investors you get, the less control of your company and product you have. I mean, that's just how it works.
It's business 101, Tommy.
That's how it works. And someone might come in and say, "Listen, I'm going to give you $10 million. I'm going to have say about what the hell's going on."
You have one board seat. You have one board seat. If somebody came in and gave us $10 million tomorrow, they'd have 1, maybe 2 board seats, but it certainly wouldn't give them any kind of decision. That's not a decision making a proposition. When if there's 5 board members now and 2 more, if 4 more came in, whatever. But anyway, it's funny. But yes, tell us more about business, Pat.
The more ghostwriters you have on your book, the less control of it you have. That's just how it works.
Wow.
Low blow.
Oh man.
All right.
Retro coming in hot. I like you.
I told you.
Look at his face.
I told you.
Tommy, listen close here. You'll learn how to launch a system. All right.
I know.
Man, Retro, you're coming in with facts all
I'm
over.
telling. I'm going to hire all you guys. I'm telling you, when this thing blows up, I mean, in a good way. When it gets super big and super successful, you're all coming to work for Intellivision. I'm telling you.
That's why we're here. We're all fanboys or aching for a job.
Yeah. Talk about shill, and
We're not interested in video games.
Tommy, I got a full-time job right now, and I'm super busy with it. But that's why I'm shilling for you, is because I'd rather do that.
Exactly.
All right. Oh my
That was in the NDA you signed.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to give you a job if you be nice to me for a year.
Right. Some of them said, "Well, I want control of your company, or else I'm not going to be involved. I'll give you the money, but I want control of the company." Sure. That happens sometimes. Here.
I hear.
So
happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
He's just throwing shit at a board.
Yeah. PUFraudcast.LLC. Yeah.
I coined that today, by the way. That was
You
me.
did. It was great.
Since I'm not giving this person the benefit of the doubt,
He
I
said
think
that
it's
so many
highly
times.
likely that back when these pre-orders went on sale in March, and then now with the GameStop pre-orders, which are still listing, I believe,
they went out in January. But okay, go ahead.
October 10th.
Yeah,
they're still listing October 10th.
I love Ian, but most of his job on the show is to look at disappointed episodes. He doesn't really. I love you, Ian, but most of you don't want to talk to me. You're not ready. You're not ready to talk to the madman. But a lot of completely unnecessary. You looking upset. Although he has had health problems, I wish him the best.
We all wish him the best.
Yes, Ian.
To do with livelihood or health, I love, and I want him to be okay. I have my frustrations with them have nothing to do with them personally. I want to make that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're near the end. We only got a minute left.
Okay, that's another 4 hours.
GameStop's website, a main gaming website.
There is a 1-star. I checked it out, Tommy. There is a 1-star review of a product that's not released yet.
I know. It's not. Yeah. Well, no. You know what happened is GameStop shouldn't even allow that, but the way their system's set up for pre-orders, it allows people to comment, but they just they wipe, because there's by the way, it goes both ways. There's a 5-star review on there as well. So they wipe those clean like every couple weeks. But yeah, so people could leave a 5-star review, and that's not fair either.
Yeah. I mean, it's an oversight. They're probably not. I don't think they have that many things that are pre-ordered.
No, they wipe them clean every couple weeks.
Yeah.
By March, you would have an idea if 6 months from now we can ship our product.
Well, that's what I was saying.
That's
back
completely
then.
not true. How can you say that by March of this year, in COVID when COVID was just starting in March, how can you say that you would know when your product is going to ship in 6 months? That to me was the most ignorant comment out of the entire thing.
The world has changed this year. It's different. That's so disrespectful to any workers out there to say that you should be able to do your job regardless of the world conditions. Mm-hmm. There's lots of people unemployed right now. To that I say screw you for bringing that up for people because really you cannot you're rooting for it to not hit that release date and you're going to blame Intellivision and not the world conditions.
Yeah. Well, Intellivision is the exception. So everything else is the past, but Intellivision. You can go Google tech and COVID and delay, and there are tons and tons of articles about stuff that is going to be delayed or stuff that is going to be affected that was supposed to come out this year or end of the year. 2020 was supposed to be a big year for phones, for tablets, for computers, for new tech upgrades.
Imagine if he was putting his NES or Super NES guidebook and he was going to start having it printed in April.
Yeah.
What would have happened, Pat? Can you honestly say that you would have still made your release date?
You would have made it work somehow.
Well, in September, he would have known.
Yeah.
All right.
Fairly tight timelines, but I have a feeling that, it was fairly well known as we got into February, March here that
you would know whether or not you're on track, right?
Oh my.
Yeah, it's a big operation. It's not like you can just fucking switch it on, the next day.
Oh, wait. Now stop. Wait, now we're a big operation.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways.
All of a sudden, we're a big operation. We know all these things. Well, wait a second. Before last video, we were struggling, didn't have any people working for us. We were still working. Now we're a big operation. Okay, I got it.
All right. Yeah, whatever narrative it fits, you go with that viewpoint.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this. To me, it'd be highly unethical to take this much money from backers. And
backers.
And
you don't have any backers, dummy.
$1.5 million, knowing likely
that
this is not going to come out.
Taking money.
Yeah. So right there, he just accused us of fraud. Right there, and that, friends, right there is that's called libel. That's where you cross the line and get
defamation.
Into defamation. It's a lot of that. So right there, he just accused me and Intellivision of fraudulent behavior to our investors.
They're allowed their opinions.
Yeah, no, that's not how the law works.
But all he wants to do is show up at your house with an Amico and test it out. You still said you would drive to him, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to. I'd take the big fast car too, because I know how much he loves it.
Will you deliver him lunch or something too, like a burrito? I don't know. What is he like?
Yeah, no, he joked once that he's not going to go out to ice cream with me or something. So I'd bring him a big bowl of ice cream.
Apparently, we got ice cream. I don't recall that memory.
Yeah. He said that me and you got ice cream together.
I want to see the video of you two together with just like some happy-go-lucky 70s theme song, just skipping having ice cream.
No, that's with Pete. That's coming with Pete. I know it's coming. Open every box. Hey, Pete. I wish you were here too. I miss you, brother.
Yes,
that's coming with Pete. Okay. All right.
I want to skip with
in
Pete.
October and probably won't be out this year.
And that makes you happy to say that.
Are people going to attack me for saying that?
That's what I'm saying in my video. I was like, it might not be out this year, but why are you proud of that? Like it's
I mean, no. I cover a lot of movies. I'm really disappointed that these great movies that I can't see are not coming, and it makes me sad for people in the industry that have reduced income. They can't do the next projects. This entertainment not being delivered is not a good thing. We need more.
But imagine doing a podcast saying that those movie companies suck and they were scamming you and they put out these trailers and they didn't even really have the movie paid for.
That's an excellent point. Yeah. Pat, I think it's only fair that you go after Wonder Woman being delayed and all these movies going after, because that's the same logic. Oh, they're not releasing. They're not going in theaters. Theaters are shut down.
And they knew back in February that they were going to delay.
No, they're delayed because they'd have to wear masks on set, and that would really throw it off. In television can all do Zoom calls.
Yeah,
apparently. In their wonderful, perfect world.
Yeah.
Well, you have to hold us to the same standard as any other product or any other past console that came
the standard that's happening in the environment now for everyone.
He just answered his own question, didn't he?
Yes. All right. There's 19 seconds left.
I think
you don't hold this product to a different standard because the quote unquote face of the product is doing interviews with all these YouTubers.
Yeah.
Except you.
Thank you, Tommy.
Oh, the Patreon's right there.
Well, we'll see what their big announcement is in July.
Support Patreon. Well, I'm not calling you scam artist for doing a very biased video.
HBO Max. That's you, right?
Yeah, I have HBO Max. All right, so what I do here, after I do a reaction, we diagnose the hot take. Was it a hot take, above average, or fake news? Fake news.
Regurgitation.
Bad take.
I don't know what the point of that was.
Yeah, me neither. It was a yawn fest. I didn't even get through half of it. I got through him picking on you, and I
Well, I can literally.
What is he getting at with all this? What was his angle? I don't get it.
After going through all this, I can literally say that there wasn't a single thing. I don't recall. There wasn't a single thing that through that whole 9 minutes that was actually factually correct. Not a single thing. We went through literally we were stopping and starting every 10 seconds pretty much. So, I mean, so for me, you get 5 Pinocchios or whatever.
Well, I mean, and this, unfortunately, is this the best way to respond to Pat and Ian? No, but this is not your choice. This is what you have to do.
My video was the best way to respond to him.
Okay. Yeah, go. Hey, go check out Smash JT's video. Go check out Retro Advisory Board and the Atari Creep, and even Tommy Towery. Go give Tommy a sub. He's almost at 2K.
Oh, I don't. Am I? I don't even know. I don't.
I can't believe you passed me.
I don't even post videos. I don't even know what the heck.
Oh, you're about to get monetized. Now you can afford this whole Intellivision.
No,
yeah, right? Tommy, you should start a Patreon in honor of Pat and Ian.
A Patreon.
Maybe a GoFundMe.
Hey, well, maybe we could do a contribution to Ian's GoFundMe if they actually agree.
Well, the other thing. Actually, that's a good thing.
No, you're good.
That's an interesting point, though. The other thing that I have said on Twitter, and you guys have all seen me say it, and I've said it to him a bunch of times. I said, look, you don't want me to come on. He doesn't want to promote me on his channel, right? Yet he talks about us every week. But I said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we go on somebody's channel, somebody else's channel, and then let's raise money, because a lot of people would go and let's raise money, and people could donate money, $1, $2, $5 here and there, and we'll donate all the money to Child's Play, and let's have like a debate or whatever. Like isn't that a cool idea?
That's a rad.
Never respond. I've told them that 10 times, never, or not 10 times, but two or three times, and no response.
Listen, Pat and Ian, this is from. I'm not just saying I'm your supporter just for the viewpoint. I actually like you guys. I wish you the best. I hope you make another volume. I don't care what you do with your GoFundMes, but please just do it already. Please, I just want to see it as a viewer. I honestly want to see it as a viewer. I'm so curious to see. Please just do it. Or talk to me. I mean, I would like to talk to them. I don't think they'll talk to me. I think they had a little bit of a laugh at me, which is fun. I like that. I enjoy that. I like laughing at myself. But please just do it.
The thing with Pat interviewed Boogie. Pat hangs out with James Rolfe. He's not going to deal with smaller channels because he doesn't want to expose himself, and he's only going to deal with people that will give him a springboard for attention. Which Tommy is, except for the fact of Tommy would embarrass him, and he doesn't want that.
Well, so I think that also shows the strength of your character. Like, you're afraid if Tommy comes on that he's going to control the narrative of the interview. Like, that shows you the lack of confidence in your interviewing skills.
His fans are now coming to my channel right now, commenting, I was a huge fan of Pat, but good Lord, they are going overboard right now with this Amico thing. And it's not just 1 or 2. It's like 30 or 40 comments so far, and it was only 8 hours.
They're quickly becoming the Coleco chameleon of YouTubers.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. Even if I don't talk to Pat and Ian, anyone that runs a Tumblr page about flip baths, or does these memes on me and calls me talking to an asshole for 2 hours, I will talk. You're invited on my show. I'm not afraid to talk to any one of you. I honestly said I'd ask your questions. That doesn't mean I don't laugh at them, because some of them are kind of silly. I enjoyed the questions, though. I liked asking you the questions because that gave me an easy. It was fun asking you those questions. So hey, what's our final thoughts here? Because it is 2 hours. We got to wrap it up because our Nico is going to give the highlights. Have you heard about the our Nico?
No, what's that?
They go through at least a few of my videos. They go through and I'll put this in a minute so you don't have to watch a 2-hour podcast. I'll tell you what happened. And then they said, oh, Mad Max admits he's weird on YouTube and I subscribe to him. I'm like, this is hilarious. I said, still watch my video though. Still, I think it's kind of a parody too of Pete's Amico Minute, our Nico Minute.
I got it.
Okay. But
well, actually, I got to say that's a good idea because as you know, like we go long with some of these things because there's lots of cool, interesting things to talk about in interviews and approaches to different things. So yeah, a lot of these things, but isn't that, like podcasts, look at any of Joe Rogan's shows, try to get those under 3 hours, right? And that's what makes him, if the content is interesting enough, then people will listen. So the idea of like a 1 minute overview of this is what they talked about, and that sounds like a good idea for me. Shit.
Yeah,
check that out.
It's humorous too. I'm like, that's my favorite bullet point is Max admits he's weird. I'm like, yeah, I fully admit I'm weird. They like that comment. So I know you're watching our Nico. I forget that your channel name, Gen or something. I don't know. But go check out Smash JT. Go check out Atari Creep, Retro Advisory Board, and Tommy. Even
Intellivision. Go to IntellivisionAmico.com and sign up to our mailing list, or go and subscribe to our Intellivision YouTube channel, because we're going to be coming out with so many amazing announcements and things over the next within the month. And it's not just one thing.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I didn't get one. I couldn't get that because I missed the pre-order. Sales are so bad that I missed the pre-order for the.
But by the way, I don't know do you see the Massachusetts love here, Chris?
Yeah,
nice.
That's the city. The reason I wear this is I don't have a Smith and Wesson, but it's from Springfield, Massachusetts. That's where Smith and Wesson is. That's where I was born and raised. So showing a little love for my hometown.
Heck yeah.
We got three Massachusetts natives here.
That's right.
That's right.
Three
massholes. 3 massholes.
Amen.
The real reason I love Tommy.
Yeah. All right.
Brooklyn, there you go.
Nice.
What would we finally? I mean, if you could say anything to Pat and Ian, I'd say it's getting to the point where it's silly to just
Would you say embarrassing?
It was like 2 months ago.
It's getting embarrassing to me for being a supporter of them. And I'm not. I don't say I'm a supporter just to say it. I am a supporter of them. I want them to succeed, but. Criticizing like Review Tech USA that harshly when you don't do the interview yourself, you have every right to criticize how he did the interview. But then if you're not going to do it yourself or show, I think it shows a lack of confidence.
What up,
you got the guns out that you don't think if you have Tommy on a one-on-one that you can't press him and control the narrative where he's just going to be a salesman and you can't control. Listen. Even if Tommy goes on the Pat the Ennis Punk Completely Necessary podcast and hits it out of the park, his viewers they're gonna be skewed a certain way. So it really does no benefit of. I mean, there are some benefits, but the benefits outweigh. They're scaled way towards Pat to have you on his channel.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, why would I want to go into the Lion's Den? There's no reason for me. There's no upside for me. How about you, Retro? You've known those. You've watched them a long time. What's your final thought?
I would say, as far as Max being a little embarrassed, I wouldn't worry. As long as you are getting your sources from reputable, different sources, you kind of know what to expect with what Pat and Ian are talking about in the Amico. I can mostly tune it out. It irritates me. It's grating that they have kind of taken this path and are going so hard attack. I mean, for them, it's a little bit damaging because if there is a hint of success for Amico, I think the Amico is going to do very successful, but that's my take. But for the fan who is watching Pat and Ian and think they have some sort of insider knowledge or some sort of insight because they present themselves as very knowledgeable, they were the first to bring up Coleco Chameleon and see how it was a fraud, even though it was Atari Age that was digging in and doing the research on that. They were just reporting and they were on it. But they kind of present themselves as at the forerunner of seeing this imminent train wreck before it happens. Now, if it doesn't happen, if it's not the train wreck that they're proposing it's going to be, it kind of puts them in the corner of being exceptionally wrong and kind of sitting out on their own on this, where they could be a little more leveraged and a little more, maybe this does have some cool ideas. Maybe some people are going to buy into this. I don't see it. I don't think so. They could be a little bit more reserved, but they are going out on a limb to kind of paint this as a disaster. And I think the reason they're doing that is because they've made it personal, this feud with Tommy. And if they can go out on a limb, they see Tommy doing all of this free buzz for the retro community. The retro community is not the Amico market.
No.
Amico is saving its money to market to moms, to market to families, to market to, you know, I'm a late Gen Xer. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. This is a system that's perfect for me. So Amico is looking to kind of introduce itself to us families through mobile phone ads, through all sorts of mediums, and they should be able to spend those resources on us as a market. The retro community who are tuned into Pat and Ian, we don't need that expense. We can just see we're watching YouTube videos. We can watch and hear Tommy do some free buzz marketing about the Amico, and hopefully it's exciting. And Pat and Ian see that and think, well, they can get in front of that and they can kind of kill that retro enthusiasm before he reaches the big retro YouTubers, before he reaches that sort of critical mass that are excited to see it coming. So I think that's kind of the game they're playing, and
Chris,
I think they need to be called out on it.
I think the whole thing's just disappointing, to be honest with you. I'm the type of guy, and it's funny how the Amico sucked me in, you know, with all of this nonsense that's going on. The exact words he was saying here, they're taking it personal, and that's, I think, their biggest flub right there. Once it became personal, they can't not be right. You know what I'm saying? They have to save face no matter what they say, and it's disappointing that they're willing to let their integrity fall down, whether or not again it's successful or not in the end. They're still allowing their integrity to fall. And so many are not seeing that. I mean, I guess a lot more now from what Jeff over here has been saying. It's just, I wanted to come on here and just talk about my disappointment in the community itself as far as on that end of it. And it means a lot to me, holding on to an integrity, whether you're this or that or the other thing. And the fact that they're willing to go so far as to, whether they're doing it intentionally or even blindly, it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing. And a lot of people think I have a big problem with both Pat and Ian. My problem is more with Ian. I think Pat's smug. He can be smug, but it can be a funny smug, you know? I think he unfortunately feeds off of Ian's anger and hate. I see a lot more anger and hate coming from him, and it radiates into Pat's point of view. Add that into the whole taking everything too personal. It's a plastic console, for God's sakes, you know? And once you do that, it's a level of lunacy, excuse the expression.
Well, there's a constant, a lot of anti-shill stuff on the internet.
Right.
But I've always said, there's always shilling for hating or dunking on stuff too. And so much bias to skew everything, like when they were saying price hike, and there's so much bias, and those comments are so loaded with bias and shilling towards a narrative of failure and hate that you have to throw it. You have to push back against that.
Right.
Definitely. Smash JT, you get the last say, I guess.
The headline.
Well, I mean, in the interest of time, I would just say watch my video today.
Yeah, go check out his video. And I think we basically, if we respond to this anymore, it's basically just say talk to Tommy. Yeah. Any response is like, you could always win the argument and say talk to Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's that simple. Yeah. Talk to Tommy. Check it out. That's simple reply.
Now he's demanding that I make special videos and send him the private link.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
His video today.
Instead of meeting you to talk face to face.
Yeah.
Listen.
Comment section.
Okay, that's not a man. I'm sorry. We have to, integrity of a man. If you're going to throw out the integrity of Tommy, and you can't man up, meet man the man, that unfortunately shows how
careful. Careful. You can't dish it to him. He can dish it out, but he can't take it.
No, I like him, but man up. To stop being a literal punk and man up. No, really, you're being your name.
You're handling it very professionally, but he still doesn't like you because you're trying to give a different perspective that's not his.
No, I mean, I throw heat all over the place on the internet, but if someone says, look, I had an experience last night where someone I was really heavily criticizing came in my comment section and said, let me on, and I wasn't expecting, I let him on. I'm like, yeah, I criticized you. feel free to interact with me. That, if you can't throw as much criticism as you want, but if you can't have a conversation, then you're the failure and not the Amico. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Pat.
There you go.
That's the end. Thanks for watching. I'm sure we'll be talking about this again because, unfortunately, I would like to say Pat will come to his senses and actually at least talk to you. But I think we're just going to have to do this again. Unfortunately, is my prediction. And I think that would be the lame way to do it. Yeah, we'll get views off of it for sure. I actually think you're helping Tommy too. If you really don't want to help him, talk to him. All right, that's it. We could go on for hours. I'm going to end it here, and then we'll say our goodbyes off screen. Thanks for everyone joining in, and keep your comments here. And my reply is going to be talk to Tommy or check out the Amico in person. That's it. All right, bye everyone.